Hello everyone, my name is Pooja Singh and I am going to review the movie A Time to Kill. The plot of the movie is that this 10-year-old girl is abducted, raped, and then dumped by two white men. She survives the whole incident, and her father is very upset by this. And this leads to him going to the courtroom and opening fire on these two culprits. Now, there is a trial going on against Carly, the father, for double homicide and whether he is guilty and or non-guilty of the crimes. The defense attorney in this case takes the plea of insanity. Now, in the Indian context, Section 84 of the IPC, which is based on the case of R versus McNaughton, or aka the McNaughton's rule, which says that if at the time of committing the crime, the person is able to see what he is doing and he can justify what and the nature of the crime which he is committing, then he shall not be punished and he shall be given the defense of insanity and he won't be sent to jail. The defense attorney takes this as his plea. Now, on a personal level, I believe that this was a camouflage because Carly on the stand actually admits to the crime and he says that he has done the two murders on the intention and due to the reason that those two men have killed, have tried to rape his daughter and caused outrage to her modesty, which is very wrong, and he was very upset by it, he was outraged by it, and he did the act what he was saying. Now, the psychiatrist in the movie says that the insanity is a very huge term in the medical profession. But what we need to understand is there is a difference between legal insanity and medical insanity. Medical insanity may be a case where the person knows that what he is doing is wrong and yet commit the act because he is out of control of his body and probably his mind is controlling him. But according to the law, it is not correct. Now, if you know that what you're doing is wrong and yet you do the act, then you will be punished for it. We are taken through the trial, and in the end, in the closing statement, the attorney he actually asks the jurors to close their eyes and then he runs them through the whole storyline of what happened to the girl, and he plays the emotional card here and tries to get a defense of Carly that what he did was justified because of what happened to his daughter. Now, jurors are convinced by this and he is declared innocent. Now, that is what happens in the movie. In my personal opinion, I think this decision is not something I would abide by because I think it is setting a precedence which is very wrong, that killing of two men just because I have been or somebody or some close one of mine has been hurt and that is why I'll go and kill some other person doesn't give me the right. As a citizen of this country, I cannot take law in my own hand. That is what I believe, and this is what he did. To put it into words, he did the revenge killing, and if that is what is a precedence which we are setting in the society today, then this will cause a vicious cycle. Now, he has killed those two men. Those two men's relatives will come and kill his family. His family will again go and kill their relatives. This cycle will go on, and a society cannot go through that. For making a society work, you need law and order, and this is something which broke the law and order, and yet he walked free. This is giving a message out to the society that you can kill two people if they have done something wrong to you, and you will walk free, which is not correct. Now, for understanding to explain what I'm trying to say here, I would like to mention the judgment of Queen's Bench versus Stephenson and Dudley. Here, there were two men and one minor boy. They went on a voyage, and due to the storm, they lost track and they got lost in the sea. Now, because of the seasickness and everything, they start for around 24 days, and after that, the boy he actually drank the salty water, and because he was dehydrated and he was very weak. Now, these two men thought that this boy is anyways going to die, and if we do not kill him and feed upon him, then we will die as well. So they, that time for surviving, they killed the boy and they fed on his flesh. After coming to the shore, there was a case registered, and in so when the trial happened, Justice Cockburn has very well defined and said that if today I let these two men go walk free, even after killing two boys, it will give a wrong precedence to the world. Which was definitely not followed in A Time to Kill. Obviously, it's a frictional case, and I know that. But yet, I think in the legal aspect, it is not something correct to do. As Cockburn said, that I'm not giving them a life imprisonment or capital punishment. I'm only giving them 6 months imprisonment, but it is at least setting out the message that you won't walk free if you kill another human being, because you do not have the right to do that. You cannot take the law in your hand, even if it is for your survival, even it is for your outrageousness, anything, but you cannot take law in your own hand. Another thing I would want to compare this with is the recent Hyderabad rape case, in which Dr. Reddy was burnt after being raped. Now, the four accused who were arrested for this, they were taken back to the crime scene for understanding what happened during the crime. And that time they tried to abscond the police, and in the crossfire, all of the four accused died. Now, in the media, especially in the social media, there was a very hue and cry about that justice has been done to Dr. Reddy, and now that her soul is going to rest in peace. Now, is it this way that we are going to serve justice? Tomorrow, if I go and do a Google search about this case, I'm going to find an answer which is saying unsolved, because those four accused are died. Now, I don't know whether those accused were guilty or not, because they did not get a fair trial. Whenever the concept of justice is very vague, it depends on what you want and what law can actually give you. Dr. Reddy's rape did not cause them their death. Their death was caused because they were absconding the police. Now, that is not justice for me. I know these are two different scenarios. Here, a citizen took law in his own hand, and the police has to take because of the certain circumstances. But again, I would say that I do not think that it is something which a person can do. They cannot take law in their own hand, and I am not agreeing with what the jurors decided. But on the legal aspect of the movie, I would say that asking the jury to close their eyes and explaining the whole scenario to them was a very nice move. And as a building lawyer, something I can learn from that. Another thing is that Carly actually came and asked the defense attorney that he is thinking, or he implied that he is thinking of killing those two men. Now, he did not mention that anywhere, and he did not abide by it because of the attorney-client privilege which we have. So these are the points which, as a lawyer, I'm taking back from this movie. And I think again that a citizen is not and should never be allowed to take law in their own hand, and that is not how a society works, and law and order and justice should always prevail. In which A.K. Sikri also said that until and unless you can make the victim feel that justice has been given, I might give a judgment which is very correct, but probably it won't do justice to the victim if they do not feel that justice has been given. So I think, sir, it was fictional and everything, and that is why the whole racism thing and that black and white racism should not be there, and that is why they did the whole thing. But for me, I do not approve of acquittal of Kali. I think probably not, obviously, a life imprisonment, but some punishment, just to show the public that if you are killing another human being, then you are guilty and you are not correct to do that. So that is what my take. Thank you.